6 Amazing Benefits of Flaxseed Water. Have you heard of the amazing benefits of flaxseed water? In the last few years, flaxseed has become very popular in the preparation of breads and other baked goods. Its growing incorporation into the human diet is due to the fact that flaxseed is a very functional food. Functional foods are foods that are beneficial to the body and help reduce or prevent certain risk factors or diseases. Flaxseed comes from the flax plant. It is a known food source that was used in ancient cultures, as was the case with the Egyptians. They used it as a food, a medicine, and a laxative. For some time, flaxseed was only commercially produced for its oil production. However, thanks to the health fields and preventative medicine, flaxseed has captivated the scientific community and the world in general. Properties of flaxseed. First of all, flaxseed contains some very interesting compounds. Alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. It has a high omega-3 content, about 50 to 55 of the total fatty acids of its composition. That's why it contributes to a reduction in the risk of developing cardiovascular diseases. Dietary fiber. In addition, about 28 of the seed's weight is dietary fiber. Of that, 25 is soluble fiber. This reduces the absorption of cholesterol and glucose. Then, 75 is insoluble fiber. This increases your waste products and reduces the time of intestinal transit. Among its other benefits, flaxseed promotes bowel movements, reduces the risk of colorectal cancer, lowers levels of cholesterol in the blood, prevents obesity. Lignans. In addition, flaxseed contains certain substances. When combined with gastric juices and enzymes, these substances are transformed into lignans. These chemicals protect your DNA and liposomes. Plus, they provide antioxidant and anti-cancer effects. Adding the seed to your diet can inhibit the development of heart disease and prevent different types of cancer, breast, prostate, and colon. Benefits of flaxseed water. Overall, some of the most important benefits you get from the consumption of flaxseed include: a decreased risk of developing cardiovascular disease, reduced risk of developing cancer, anti-inflammatory properties, laxative effects, antioxidant power, a reduction in the glycemic response due to starch consumption, a prevention of the symptoms of menopause. How do you make flaxseed water? First, it's recommended to grind the seeds. Only use what you need to prevent oxidizing the fatty acids and to facilitate the maximum benefits from nutrients. Flaxseed water. Ingredients: 1 cup of water, 250 milliliters, 1 teaspoon of ground flaxseed, 5 grams. Preparation: first, add the ground flaxseed to the cup of water, either warm or cold. Then, let this sit for 30 minutes. When you notice that the water has taken on a gel consistency, drink it. Note: you can add flaxseed water to smoothies and natural juices. Some people also like to incorporate some lemon juice or zest. Flaxseed tea. Ingredients: 1 teaspoon of flaxseed, 5 grams, 1 cup of boiling water, 250 milliliters. Preparation: first, add the flaxseed to a bowl along with the boiling water. Then, wait until the ground seeds release their properties. When the tea has reached a comfortable temperature, consume it. Contraindications: however, there are some things to keep in mind. Among the negative effects of flaxseed we find a reduced absorption of calcium, zinc, and iron, decreased digestion of proteins. In addition, flaxseed contains cyanogenic glycosides, substances that can release cyanide. The metabolic effects in humans are related to the amount you consume, how often you consume it, the health and nutritional status of the person, and interactions with other foods. So far, no cyanide index has been detected in baked goods, such as breads or cereals. Precautions: women who are pregnant or have breast, ovarian, or uterine cancer, men with prostate cancer, people with bowel obstructions, a narrowed esophagus, or inflammation of the intestine. Recommendations: overall, flaxseed is an excellent functional food and is generally safe for consumption. However, before you add it to your diet, it's a good idea to talk to your doctor or a nutritionist. This is especially important if you're taking medications or food supplements. No matter what, it's essential to remember that excess consumption of any food can be harmful to your health. According to the Canadian Flax Council, you only need 8 grams of ground flaxseed, or 5 grams of flaxseed oil, to meet your daily recommended amount of omega-3.